I dare you to go. Good morning and welcome to the venues. We are so glad to have you here in person and online. My name is Jay Andrus. I am the 425 interim coordinator for our Thursday service in downtown Springfield. I am going to give you a couple of announcements as we have going on. If you want a complete list of what's going on, you should have been handed a bulletin when you came today. You can check that out and see all that we have going on. First up, we're going to talk about baptism. If you are interested in recognizing your identity in God and you want to get baptized, we would love to have you. We're going to be doing our baptisms on Sunday, May 22nd during service. We do use a pour-over method here. If you're interested, you can reach out and sign up at thevenues.org/baptism or reach out to Riley for more information. We are also doing a spring cleaning service at 425 on Thursday nights. We are currently going over a series about mental health. You can come hang out with us at 425 Walnut. We have music for about half an hour and then a service following. Right now, we have a bunch of industry experts that we're just kind of having talks with about mental health and how it relates to the church. Next steps. We do have a series of next steps that you can take to be involved and get the most out of the venues. If you're new, you should have received a gift bag with a welcome card. Complete the card, put it in an offering basket as it comes around later today, and we would love to connect with you that way. If you are sitting in a chair, you will see a QR code on the seat back in front of you. If you scan that with your phone, you will If you see that and you scan it, you will get a link to help you connect with us. You can sign up for our next level class. The next one is on Sunday. We will go over kind of what the venues is about, how to get you plugged into what we're doing. You will have the ability to join a small group. We currently have a few different small groups going on, and we would love to have you in our next round. And then if you download the Church Center app, you'll also have a way to connect, to volunteer with us, and you can also follow us on all of our social media accounts. And then lastly, if you like what we're doing and you want to support us, we would love to have you give. You can give at thevenues.org/give. You can also drop a donation in the offering box when it comes around. We also have boxes at the doors. And you can also set up a recurring donation through that Church Center app. It is lovely to see you guys, and we're glad to have you today.
All right. If you would, please stand with us. No pressure at all to stand and sing, but we are so excited that you're here. We are excited to sing. We would love for you to sing with us. Again, there's no pressure to do that, but we'd love as much of engagement and singing along as possible. One thing I wasn't gonna say, we actually got some new mics that are they're called room mics. So now if you go back later and listen to the live stream online, you can hear yourself singing maybe, I don't know. If you sing loud enough, you could probably hear yourself singing. So let that be the goal for all of us today, to make it onto the live stream and how loud we sing. So, all right, we're glad you're here. Thanks. Your love is like radiant diamonds, they're bursting inside us, we cannot contain. And your love will surely come find us, like blazing wildfires, singing your name. God of mercy, sweet love of mine, I have surrendered to your design. And may this offering stretch across the skies, these hallelujahs be multiplied. missed the part. Like radiating diamonds bursting inside us, we cannot contain. Your love will surely come find us, blazing wildfire, singing your name. God of mercy, sweet love of mine, I have surrendered to your design, and may this offering stretch across the skies. These hallelujahs be multiplied. God of mercy, sweet love of mine, I have surrendered to your design, and may this offering stretch across the skies. These hallelujahs be multiplied. God of mercy, sweet love of mine, I have surrendered to your design, and may these offerings stretch across the skies. These hallelujahs be multiplied. Hallelujahs be multiplied.
By my Father's arms, they welcome me. I was lost, but He brought me in. His love for me, oh, His love for me. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. Free at last, I can just be me. His love was deep.
You've been walking the same old road for miles and miles. You've been hearing the same old voice tell the same old lies. If you're trying to feel the same old holes inside, there's a better life. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. Well, we've all searched through the light of day in the dead of night, and we've all found ourselves worn out from the same old fight. And we've all run to things you know just ain't right. And there's a better life. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify, testify. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom, saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. All right, you guys can have a seat. Thanks for singing along with us.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kelsey Young-Smith. I am the Next Gen Director here at the venue. So anything that has to do with birth through high school or family programming, that is me. And I'm up here today because we're going to recognize our seniors. Graduating seniors have a very special place in my heart. I just think there is so much hope and joy and a little bit of new life feeling and just possibilities. And I just love it so much. And so I think we can all remember those feelings, whether we were graduating from high school or college or the trainings that we've done before. And so we're just here to uplift them and tell you a little bit about who's going to be graduating and going off. So the first one that we have is Coy Brookshire. At the end of me talking about all of our lovely seniors, we'll have them stand and we can give them a warm round of applause so we can think about them. And Coy Brookshire, he is graduating from Ozark High School, and he's actually going to be going to Drury University and doing the pre-dentistry program. So it's very exciting, and I think that is so great. You're going to stay local. I'm sure Mom and Dad are excited about that. And Hunter Browning. Hunter is graduating from Aurora High School with a certificate from the Scott Regional Technology Auto Collision Repair Center at the Votech Center there. It's a wonderful program, and Hunter will be entering the workforce upon graduation. So that is very exciting for him. He already has his training under his belt, and he gets to just start right off how he wants. The next person we have is Liliana Escobar. I think we have someone on stage that could probably talk for hours and hours about how lovely his daughter is. But Liliana is graduating from Nixa High School, and Liliana plans to pursue a career in photography. So we're so excited, and we know we'll get to hear updates about them as well, since we obviously have a connection. And then Braden Garner. Braden is graduating from Kickapoo High School, and Braden plans to pursue a career in equine therapy, which I cannot wait to see how he does and where his career takes him. We also have Lance Haley, and Lance Haley is graduating from Aurora High School and plans to enter the workforce as well, and we are very excited for him and his family. We also have Christian May. Oh, just kidding. Sorry, guys, that's my bad. Perrin Stanley. Perrin Stanley is graduating from Logan Rogersville High School. I'm sure many of you see Perrin and his grandma Jerry out in the coffee area, and they are always helping here at the venues with different service projects and greeting families on Sunday. So we are so excited for Perrin and for him to start his plans to travel a little bit and to, congratulate him on graduating. He'll get to travel and then enter the workforce as well and possibly pursue higher education later. Next, we have Livia, and Livia is graduating from Kickapoo as well, and she plans to attend OTC in the fall. So we are so excited for our students and some of them to stay local, and we can keep in touch with them. And then, okay, I think that's all. All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you.
I think I'm okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I don't remember even to turn my mic on. The song the band will sing today was written by Diane Warren to honor her dad, so you will probably hear this same song next month. It's a song about a sweet, healthy relationship with a parent, and we know that that is not everyone's story. So today, to those who give birth this year to their first child, we celebrate with you. But to those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are hanging by a thread, watching, praying, hoping for a child who is bearing a serious diagnosis, we are with you. To those who are in the trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you. To those who experience loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointments, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate with you. And to those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year or in years past, we grieve. To those who experienced abuse at the hands of your own mother, we acknowledge your experience. To those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and the overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who long to mother your own children, we mourn that life has not turned out the way you longed for it to be. To those who step parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. To those who envisioned lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. To those who will have emptier nest in the upcoming year, congratulations. It is a good life. To those who place children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you hold that child in your heart. To those who have made the difficult choice of abortion, we acknowledge the complexity of your experience and we walk with you today. To those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, we walk with all of you. We remember you. We grieve with you, and we honor you. Now, what better way to show your love for your mother than by giving money to the venues? And that's what we're going to do. When you give your money to the venues, you are investing in a community with a diverse experience. Because there are people that I have just described sitting around you. This church is made up of the very people that I have mentioned in this reading. Yet we are unified by a desire to love and to make this world a more loving place. The song is Because You Loved Me. There is a you in your life. Somebody loved you. Somebody loves you now. The one who loved you may not have been your biological mother. But there has been someone in your life who has mothered you. It could have been a teacher. Could have been an aunt. Could have been a coach. Just a friend. Or a friend's mother. So if you're unable to think of your own mom as one who loved you, think of the one who mothered you, as that band sings. I'll pray, they'll sing, and we'll continue. You know the various experiences that are present in this room today, God. And you are there for each of us. No matter where our journey in life has taken us and is taking us today. Awaken us to your presence. Allow us to break through so that we can feel and sense your presence today. Thank you for the you in our lives, whoever that may be, who loved us and who mothered us. In the name of love, I pray. Amen.
For all those times you stood by me, for all the truth that you made me see, for all the joy you brought to my life, for all the wrong that you made right, for every dream you made come true, for all the love I found in you, I'll be forever thankful, baby. You're the one who held me up, never let me fall. You're the one who saw me through it all. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believed. I'm everything I am because you loved me. You gave me wings and made me fly. You touched my hand, I could touch the sky. I lost my faith, you gave back to me. You said no star was out of reach. You stood by me and I stood tall. I had your love, I had it all. I'm grateful for each day you gave me. Maybe I don't know that much, but I know this much is true. I was blessed because I was loved by you. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believed. I'm everything I am because you love me. You are always there for me, the tender wind that carried me, light in the dark, shining your love into my life. You've been my inspiration. Through the lies, you were the truth. My world is a better place because of you. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believed. I'm everything I am because you loved me. I'm everything I am because you loved me.
Well, Mother's Day is supposed to be a day where mothers feel appreciated, and it's a day where we buy a lot of Mother's Day cards. Thank you, Deb, for those Mother's Day cards. Our Hallmark representative sitting over here. But sometimes it's a better day for making mothers feel completely inadequate. So today, this is a message for all the women who feel beaten down by the Proverbs 31 woman. You know the Proverbs 31 woman if you've grown up in church. She pops up every Mother's Day in many churches around the country, and she just taunts moms, reminding them of all that they will never be, even though you pour your heart and soul into the lives of your kids. How many moms feel kind of like this? At a parent-teacher conference, teacher, she's really doing great. Keep doing whatever you're doing. Me, internally, so chicken nuggets, unlimited screen time, and constantly doubting myself, done. That's the life of a parent right there. Some call it mom guilt. I can't believe my kids have had so much screen time lately. I'm such a bad mother. I should not have lost my temper with my kid. I'm not fit to be a mother. My kids don't eat enough vegetables. I'm failing as a parent. I couldn't breastfeed my baby exclusively for 12 months, so I'm not a good mom. My child fell and got hurt. It's all my fault. I should have been there. I'm always working and don't spend enough time with my children. What kind of mother am I? Mom guilt. If you're a mom, there's a 99% chance you have mom guilt. Now, let's be real. There's a 100% chance you have mom guilt. Guilt sells. You make someone feel bad enough about themselves, you can sell them anything. You can get them to do anything. Get them to walk an aisle in a church. Or get them to write a check to the church. Guilt sells. Guilt works. That's our topic in this series. We don't want to operate by guilt because we don't think that's how Jesus operates. So in this series, we're asking, what if Christians were Christian? And today, for Mother's Day, what I want us to do is if we were really acting like Christians, like Christ, we would be affirming our worth. And that would be more important than condemning our brokenness. And we would see ourselves as inherently good instead of inherently bad. I was raised being taught that I was inherently bad. The theology of that is called original sin. Original sin basically says that Adam sinned and screwed it up for the rest of us. We inherited Adam's sin according to the theology, the doctrine of original sin. And when we inherited Adam's sin, not just the sin, but the sinful nature. And when we inherited that sinful nature, we were just evil. And every baby that is born is guilty and has that sinful nature. And there is absolutely no way that a human being can ever do good because of that doctrine that teaches of original sin. Both Catholic and Protestant groups teach that to some degree. Lutherans in their doctrinal statements say, in regard to original sin, that it means the entire absence of all good. It's a deep, wicked, horrible corruption of the entire nature. Methodists say that it is that we are inclined to do evil continually. The Reformed Church or the Presbyterian Church says that it means that we are made the opposite unto all that is spiritually good. Southern Baptist, the denomination of my youth, says that original sin is whereby Adam's posterity inherits, or we inherit, a nature that is sinful and an environment that is inclined toward sin. So the teaching is that we are guilty from birth, and that's why many denominations baptize babies, because there's a view that that baby is guilty, and parents, the church leadership, they don't want that baby to die, and because they're guilty, go to hell. So many churches and many parents will practice that baptism of babies. So the original sin teaches that what is deepest in us is opposed to God rather than of God. Original sin, there's no way that you could ever do good. Now, logically, if you think about that, it does break down because we know a lot of people who would not consider themselves spiritual or religious who do some good. And they are sometimes inclined to good. So logically, it does break down, but it's a theology and a way of thinking that is deeply embedded in some of us because of how we were raised. The doctrine of original sin was not just communicated through sermons, but also through song. My dad's favorite song was "Alas, and did my Savior bleed, and did my sovereign die?" And so when I think about that song, I have a sentimental attachment to it. And I've discovered, I don't know about you, I've discovered that a lot of the songs that I like and that mean something to me, I don't really know what they say. I just know that I've got a sentimental attachment to the tune and to some experience that surrounds that song. And that's how a lot of us are wired. And that's nothing wrong with that. That's a very powerful element of music. But although I have a sentimental attachment to that song, I cringe when I think of the theology of that song. And I read the lyrics of that song. Alas, and did my Savior bleed, and did my sovereign die? Would he devote that sacred head for such a worm as I? Would Jesus voluntarily die on a cross for a worm like me? Wow. I love the song only because Dad loved the song. And we'd sing that growing up every time we had the Lord's Supper. But the theology bothers me. We call it worm theology. For such a worm as I. In the late 90s, I'd already left the Baptist church and in a non-denominational church, but the church used to sing this a lot. How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that he should give his only Son to make a wretch his treasure. And guess who the wretch is? Well, according to this theology, it's every one of us. Well, call yourself a wretch. Don't be calling me a wretch. Worm theology. I'm nothing but a wretched worm. Now, the danger of worm theology is that there is a direct correlation between what I think and what I do. Same with you. So if my theology is I'm nothing but a wretched worm, then I'm going to act like a wretched worm. So most Sundays and most Wednesday nights and Sunday nights, when I would go to church, we were taught this theology of original sin, worm theology. Now, a heavy dose and a heavy diet of worm theology, that you are unworthy of God's love, that you are undeserving of God's love, that'll do a number on your self-esteem. And if I'm unworthy of God's love, if I don't deserve that, there's nothing in me that God would ever like. You worm. Then I have a hard time thinking anybody could love me. And so we've raised generation upon generation of people who are battling with insecurity and self-esteem and guilt. Guilt. A sense of unworthiness. And therein is our transition to parenthood. Because so many of us parents feel so guilty about how we have raised our kids. Amy Schumer. speaking of her son, being his mom is heaven on earth and also means a constant feeling of guilt and vulnerability that I will never get used to. Then Amy gives us an example. She and her husband, Chris Fisher, named their son Gene Attell after the stand-up comedian Dave Attell. Then someone on the internet pointed out what that baby's name sounds like. I won't even say it. You can figure it out. I know it. It's going through the group. This side over here is a little bit slow. Yeah, you get it. Now talk about that over lunch today. Write it down. Gene Attell. So Amy goes, I was like, oh my God, it never dawned on me. All the blood rushed to my head, and I was like, Chris. So they changed their baby's name. She says it's the first of many failures. Well, I don't think we messed up, Nisi, on Daniel and Devin's name. But. Mom guilt. So, what better person to talk about mom guilt than the mom of our boys? So, Denise, come on up. You can talk to us. It's good to see you.
Great to be here.
So, what do you want to? What do you want to tell us about your mom?
Parent guilt.
You're including me in that, huh? Yeah.
Mom and dad guilt. I can't take this all by myself.
I think you're right about that. Do you think you take it more deeply than I?
I cry more about it, probably.
You cry more than I? That's a lot of crier. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, we've talked about this since the boys, all their lives. But what story or what event in Daniel and Devin's life really does stand out to you?
Many, but there's one in particular.
I don't know if your microphone's on.
Joey's coming to sing today.
Thank you, Joey. Mm-hmm. That is much better.
The one story, I'm just going to tell one story. There are very many, but one story of mom guilt is when Devin was in middle school. He is our youngest son. We have two boys, Daniel and Devin. And when Devin was in middle school, I had the hardest time getting him to clean his room or do any of the chores around the house that you try to get your kids to do. And I would tell him to go up and clean his room, and I'd go in there and he'd be laying on the floor playing Legos or something silly like that, and have him dust the family room, and he'd be in there playing Nintendo. And so just could not motivate him to clean his room. And he went for his yearly physical, and the doctor informed us that he had Graves' disease, which is extreme fatigue. And so, of course, all these months and months of him not doing anything, doing his responsibilities around the house, any good Christian parent would tell their son to get out his Bible and read all those verses, find all those verses on laziness, and you need to get some memorization in there for lazy verses,
Because the Bible solves everything, right?
Yes.
And guilt in the Bible.
That was my solution for his laziness, not knowing that his laziness was really just extreme fatigue. And the doctor described it to us as look at the fact of if he got up to play a tennis match, he feels like he has already played the match by the time he just gets up there to stand and begin to play the match. So that has been probably my number one mom guilt that I feel, of course, and dad guilt, You know, when we found out really that there was a reason behind Devin's not cleaning his room and not doing chores around the house, when we realized what that was all about, of course we asked his forgiveness, and he gave it to us, but I didn't think I was going to cry.
We still wrestle with it.
I know. Why, 20 years ago, we faced that for 20 years, and of course, Devin is such a sweet son and very forgiving, and I think there's a picture.
Yeah, he's turned out pretty good.
Yeah, he turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
But
You don't have to leave.
yes. They don't want to see a blubbering mother.
Well, they see a blubbering dad every Sunday. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
It was hard, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I guess if I would have any encouragement for a mom would be probably just, if your child isn't doing what you think, maybe try other alternatives and get physical help, emotional help, things like that for your child. Rule out all the other possibilities.
We were raised that if you weren't behaving correctly, then it was a spiritual problem. We never even thought about it being a physical or, in some cases, a mental problem. So, yeah, it's sad. You can just take that with you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Nisi, very much. We put Devin and Kylie's picture up here, just in case some of you don't know Devin and have no idea who it is that we're even talking about. It is hard, and we still beat ourselves up over that because we put so much shame on Devin, and we made him feel guilty that he wasn't living up to our standards when all along it wasn't a heart problem, it was his thyroid, and we just beat ourselves up over that guilt of pressuring him and not being more responsive and comprehensive in his care. So what I want us to think about, and I don't have a solution to mom guilt except forgiving ourselves and asking our children to forgive us and learning from it. But what I do want us to focus on today is this. In your distress, God sees you, mom and dad and whoever. One of the names for God in the Hebrew Scripture is El Roi, R-O-I, which means you are the God who sees. Interestingly, we are introduced to that name in the story of a mother who is under distress. The mother's name is Hagar. And she is treated unjustly and unfairly, terribly by the father of her son, and the father of her son is Abraham. And in this story, God sees Hagar, and when God sees her and responds to her in care and in help, then Hagar sees herself through the eyes of God. And she calls God and she says about God, I have seen him who sees me. And she gives her son the name of Ishmael. You are the God who sees, is what that name means. Now, when we are in distress for whatever reason, whether it's parent guilt or just stress as a parent of any kind, I think that one thing that helps me through this process of dealing with the mistakes we made with Devin and with Daniel is that God sees us. And when I see that God sees me in my distress over my mistakes, I am moved then to see what God sees. And this is what I mean by this. A parent with mom guilt will see him or herself or themselves as worms. That's how I was taught. Incapable, not good, not able, unworthy, probably just a big loser. And when you're told again and again that you're unworthy, you just can't help but look at yourself as a loser, unworthy of doing anything. But when God sees us, God sees our worth and our goodness and our capability of loving, our true identity. So one thing that's helping Denise and me deal with the mom guilt, and I'm 65, will be 66 in a month, and Nisi is that old, that age, whatever age she wants to be. And we still battle with the guilt. And it's not until I intentionally see myself as God sees me. And when God sees me, God sees you are worthy, you deserve love, and you are good. Do you make mistakes? Yes. But your heart is good. In the depth of your being, you are good. And that changes how I feel about myself, and it changes how I express myself to other people. So today, I want to tell you that if you are loving your children, then you are doing very well. If you are letting them discover who they are, you're doing a great job. If you are letting them discover who God made them, who love made them, and how to hear God and how to listen to God and how God is speaking to them, then you are doing a really good job with your child. If you're not trying to change your child into your particular image, like I tried to do with Devin and Daniel, you're really doing a good job. There are so many mistakes that we make. This mom bottle feeding instead of breastfeeding, but still a good mom. This mom just taking care of the baby while the laundry's piling up, a messy room, still a good mom. This dads can be the best moms. Beyond gender, doesn't matter what gender a person is, it's what's in the heart and how that heart expresses. Still a good mom, trying to let the baby cry him or herself to sleep. Peace. Just pause. Still a good mom. Your kids don't want a perfect mom, they just want a happy mom. So see yourself as God sees you. And tell yourself, I am a good parent because I really do love my child. And I forgive myself for the mistakes I made. I'm learning. And I'll ask my child to forgive me. And I'll be a better parent. Tell yourself, I am worthy. I am loved and I am lovable. It's not hard for God to love me. God looks at me and loves me, and out of that love that God sees, I am able to love myself. I am capable of love. So give yourself a present for Mother's Day. I like this 4-year-old came to Mom, can I have some of your candy? I got this for Mother's Day. Well, you're only a mom because of me. Yeah. Moms, give yourself a present of love. Give yourself a present of knowing you're worthy and you're a good person. When we believe that we're a good person, when I believe I'm a good person, I have a tendency to act more like a good person. Yeah. Well, it's 10:57. I don't want to answer any questions today. I think I'd probably cry. Hi, Joey. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Still not there.
You're not there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Denise, can I have that one back? Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you too. Should I just go ahead and let everyone go? We're
Yeah, let me
we're
pray
2
and
minutes early. Do
let's
you want to
pray
say
and I'll
anything
go.
else? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, I thank you very much. Joe, you don't have to leave. I thank you so much for a theology that says I'm good, and a theology that says that it's a love that you have for me. It's not a love that you make yourself have, but I deserve that love, and I'm worthy of that love. Forgive all of us, Father, for teaching people and passing on to people a view of you that is not true. Let us see ourselves as you see us, and let us be free from the guilt. In Christ's name, amen. Thank you, Joey.
Wow. Best prayer ever. You're going to get me crying up here too. Wow. Can we just, I love Philip. You guys love Philip too. I think we can give him a, yeah. Thank you for all you do here. It's so special what you bring, and we're very thankful for you. All right, let's get more upbeat now. We are going to dismiss now. We're going to say goodbye to our online audience. I guess before, yeah, we're good. There's some Go Deep notes that you can find online if you'd like to discuss any of the service further. But like I said, we're going to say goodbye to our online audience. For the rest of us, if you have any kiddos in